Wow. Wow.
Oh, I mean, there are Bibles that have written that the blacks have to do whatever the slave master tells them to. That's in the Bible. Are you going to go by that Bible?
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
you know,
Exactly.
things that are just left unanswered, too many unanswered questions. And you got folks, excuse me, you got folks that are leaving their religions every day.
Yeah. Yeah, and people are being more spiritual driven than religions.
Yeah.
I believe that religion kills people. I don't go to church, you know. I was a pastor, ordained pastor. I grew up in church. My mom got saved when I was 9 years old, and we were there every day, just about.
Oh, so I ain't never been. I was there on Sunday.
You ain't had nothing on me.
Yeah.
What? And I'm talking about. I could remember being in the 5th and 6th grade, and you know the prophets come in town and they do the revivals and have us in church till 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. I'll be like, Mom, do I have to go to school? The Lord will give you strength, and I'll be at school the next day.
Yep.
So, yeah, I had a firm, solid foundation in religion. And then I started questioning things. I was like, no, wait a minute. And I'm talking about stuff that I would be spitting fire and hell brimstones across the pulpit. And, you know, too many things just, I was like, wait a minute.
It didn't add up.
They weren't adding up. And so I started thinking for myself. And I started being more relational driven with God and started, you know, because the one thing I can't deny is that there is a God somewhere.
Yeah.
No, this world didn't just pop into existence by itself.
No.
But all of these laws y'all trying to tell me to live by, you can't explain not near one of them. It's the system.
Now, I concur with what both of you are saying in some ways. And what I tried to do, Dr. ZaMiya and Brother Slaughter, was this. I remember as an athlete playing football, especially football, and I did not agree nor did I understand a lot of the stuff that we were being told to do as a team and as individual players. But there was a structure that was in place that allowed us to continue to build a team, to build a community, to be effective, and to attack our opponents. So even when I didn't understand, even when I didn't agree, or even when I, to this day, I'll use some of those laws, and I'll use some of those precepts that's in Scripture to govern some of my activity and to share with other people who would allow themselves to, if nothing else, as a discipline and as an order. Similar to what you see with Farrakhan. I mean, regardless of those, you had, if you talk to some of the guys, especially the ones I knew in Syracuse, they had a discipline in their tongue and in their manner that I hadn't seen outside of athletics. These were black men, and they diffused every negativity. If you were upset with them, they diffused it. They didn't meet you with it, they diffused it. They separated the men from the women and had the women being taught by women, and had the men being taught by men. And when they came out of that, it's almost like me in school. I went to all-boys school. And to this day, I credit some of that with, helping my intellectual curiosity, Doctor, because for 4 years I couldn't be curious about much else. You know, with no sisters sitting there. Now, you can blame it on how I am now. You know what I mean? But the fact of the matter is, that it gave me such a discipline in my approach because of some of those things that were implemented. Now, we can say why, but I've used it to that extent. Now, the rest of it, you know, maybe when I'm gone, you know, me and God have a conversation, he'll say, okay, you know. But from that standpoint, that's how it's been beneficial to me.
Now, don't get me wrong. I believe that, you know, I do live by universal principles that are in the Bible.
Yes, you do.
I think, you know, law is something that you can't defy. So there are many, you know, laws that are universal. that are beneficial to us. I
Yeah,
don't argue that
don't
at
drink
all.
water underneath the seat.
I don't disagree with that at all, but what I'm not going to do is be enslaved to a system, and that's what church has become, the system. So
Well, it always was, wasn't it?
it was, but you know what? We have a different. It's different now. It's different.
You keep
And
talking about that.
what I
What is-
mean by that, and we're gonna get to our for real topic today. We just been kind of touching on different stuff.
Oh, there's a topic? I
But
didn't
yeah. You see, you ain't read the post, did you? but I mean, you at one time or back in the days, you know, church was a almost like a safe haven for people. Now I think church is just as ruthless as and unlawful as you know. I mean, come on, you got pastors sleeping with women in the church, getting them pregnant while they married. Then you know they divorcing their wives and making babies all around the world. And you come on now, you don't even have no standards. What you gonna tell me? It's just so much corruption in the church, in the system.
Has that not always existed?
It has, but it's more prevalent now.
Well, because we
I
know
think,
more about it through information.
Exactly.
The information is shared more.
Exactly. And so, you know, now that you know, do you continue to go in the same path?
Yeah.
I ain't ready to be no fool.
That's what they do. Matter of fact, they can bring more people into it.
See, when you are presented with information, you now have a choice. So where you were once walking in darkness, now you don't have any excuse because you know exactly what it is you're dealing with. And so if you continue to go down that path, then that's on you. But I choose not to. As for me, I'm straight on that.
You see, I know how to get a fire.
You did a great job as well. Man, oh man.
That's what I love
Look,
about it.
I had your bio pulled up, now I gotta find it. I know it's
Uh-oh.
probably like, okay, she said she was gonna tell us who he was. So, okay, Mr. Stephen Slaughter.
Hello,
Again, it is
hello.
good to have you. I hope you enjoying yourself so far.
I am. I'm having a great time. I hope you invite me back.
Of course, you're welcome to come back anytime. I think this is the only show that have a open revolving door. I don't care who come through that door. Come on, grab a mic.
I like it. I like the idea. See, I was going to pull this up and somebody told me to close my computer now. So
Oh, why they say you close your computer now?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let me tell you all, for those of you who are out there, you still have time to call your family and friends. If you're just tuning in with us at the Dr. ZaMiya show, up on it, we have Mr. Stephen Slaughter here as our special guest tonight. Of course, you know Mr. Roland Bubba Grimes of the Roland Grimes show on Monday nights from 7 to 8. And then we have a lovely sister who I guess was listening to us and decided to come and hang out with us. She's in the studio tonight.
She's one of the single women that you called it? Okay. So you made it up. Oh, she doesn't even know the joke. Look at her. What are you talking about?
So we are here in the studio tonight, and we've just been having open discussions, open conversations about several things.
Wow.
Which is, you know what, I think it's healthy because you get to hear different perspectives, and you know you get to think about things differently.
I don't know why you think it's healthy, because I go home after doing your show and I can't sleep for 4, 5, and 3 o'clock in the morning. You're like texting me like, Grimes, what are you? I'm like, oh gosh. Neither one of us can sleep.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'm usually asleep within 30 seconds of going to the bed. I'm gone. All I gotta do is walk my dog. I give her a treat.
That helps right there.
Walk her, give her a treat.
That
She's
helps.
happy. I'm happy. And we good.
That's therapeutic right there. You walk the dog.
Yeah. Only time I don't like walking her is when it's raining or snowing. Unlike most dogs, my dog loves the snow. She loves the rain. If it's raining, I know I got to put on my Timbs and a jacket.
You got to thug it out, huh?
Yeah, I got to thug it out. Walking down the middle of Barnaby Street, me and my dog. But anyway.
Yeah, man, that's therapeutic, man.
Yeah.
When I had dogs, you're right, I slept, I slept out.
They keep you out of trouble.
I'm sorry, that didn't come off.
No, it didn't.
I would prefer a mate, but in the meantime, I gotta get a dog. I don't know if they came out right. I'm sorry.
I think I know what you mean.
Nah, let me
the
help you recover. Let me help you recover.
But the dog's gonna keep you out of trouble. You gotta go home. You gotta walk your dog. You gotta make sure your dog is fed. But I don't know what bro is doing. Anyway,
You don't know nothing about that. Okay, so let me tell you all who Mr. Stephen Slaughter is. He is currently employed with the U.S. Department of Transportation as the Deputy Manager of the Crisis Management System. Prior to his employment with DOT, Mr. Slaughter worked in several departments and agencies across the U.S. government and the intelligence community. He proudly and gallantly served his country in the U.S. Air Force for 23 years. Thank you for your years of service before retiring in 2008.
oh, you're welcome. It's my pleasure.
He actively participated in 2 foreign wars, Desert Storm, and Operations Enduring Freedom. Mr. Slaughter also served the citizens of Washington, D.C. as a detective with the Metropolitan Department of Police for 12 years. He is a 3-term Advisory Neighborhood Commissioner from the Advisory Neighborhood Commission representing Single Member District 8E07 and is currently serving as both the Treasurer and Secretary. He is also a D.C. State Committee man
Yes.
represented the Great Ward 8. He earned his M.A. in Business and Organizational Security from Webster University and his B.S. degree in Criminal Justice from the University of Maryland, University College. He is a native of Washington, D.C. and currently resides in Southeast with his faithful dog, Sasha. Y'all and y'all dogs.
You gotta have a dog will keep you out of trouble. We gotta love them.
So, Mr. Slaughter is here tonight, which I am so honored to have him here
So I wanted
because
to be here.
actually since June, in June we focused all of our discussions on the importance of the African American man coming into his kingship in every area of his life and how it benefits his home, his family, his community, and society as a whole. And then when all of the police brutality, it seemed like a rise of police brutality started to happen, and we know all it was that now things are being shown in real time by our technology
Yes.
that we have, at our hands right now and at our disposal. So things are that have always been happening are now being shown to us as they're happening. So then we started focusing the conversations on what the killings that was going on with our African American male community and then, the police. And so I'm honored in that you are able to give us a different perspective, maybe, of what's going on as it relates to the police brutality. I myself have had many questions and wanted to talk to police officers just to find out, when you're in that system, that we're seeing blatant racism.
Yes.
And we're seeing, that this is a system that protects that racism and the actions of crooked cops and things like that. And so there's no justice for the victims and their families. How does that feel when you're actually in that system, but yet your hands seem to be tied?
So I'll take you back to the days when I was a uniform cop on MPD.
Okay.
Every day sitting in roll call, you look around at your brothers and sisters in blue, and there are a few things that cross your mind. The first thing is we all are going home tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what happens on the street, you have each other's back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing that you go onto the street with that mindset. Nothing's going to happen to my brother or sister that's sitting next to me. Now, unfortunately, some of those same police officers that have that mentality are also kind of cowards. And we've seen some of the actions that have been recorded on video and audio tape, the actions that don't reflect what a real law enforcement officer would do in those situations.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen some officers that are able to defuse situations where the potential suspect is not black, where there's a white suspect.
Mm-hmm.
They're able to subdue that person They take the time to talk to them. They de-escalate the problem. But it seems whenever there's an African American suspect or potential suspect, it's shoot first, ask questions later. And there's also that code of I'd rather be tried by 12 than carried by 6. And I've also, there's another code, you can always ask for forgiveness rather than permission. So you got all these things going on, and remember, these guys are cowards. These guys that are shooting these unarmed individuals, some are cowards, some are racist, some are both. So when you get that combination, and these guys have this power. They've got this power on their side. Whether it's the side of their hip or it's the side that when they go in court, they know they're not going to get found guilty. Look at what happened in Baltimore today.
Yes.
The rest of those officers, those charges have been dismissed.
Yes.
Now, I can't tell you why those charges have been dismissed. We would have to get with the prosecutor, and I understand she did a press conference today. I didn't have an opportunity to listen to it. But there's some reasons, and some of those, when those officers were first charged, we were thinking they were being overcharged. I think they were charged with first-degree murder. It's premeditated. You have to have in your mind that I'm going to kill this person. Well, those officers didn't have that in their mind. They didn't have that on their conscience when they put that young man in the back of the paddy wagon. So, of course, these guys are going to get found not guilty of first-degree murder. I think maybe if the district attorney had charged them with a lesser offense, outcome would have been totally different.
Okay.
And they had these smart defense attorneys that said, hey, we're not going to go with a jury trial. It's going to be hard-pressed to find 12 people in Baltimore that are not going to think you're guilty.
Right.
So they went with the judge only. The judge listened to the case, and he applied the law as it was supposed to be, what they were charged with. And of course, the first 3 or 4 were found not guilty. So the prosecutor did the next best thing, just dismissed the charges from the rest of the folks.
So let me ask you a question real quick. Please don't lose your train of thought, but you
Okay.
said something key, right? And you talked about the judge applying the law. That's a part that the citizens don't know.
Right.
And so when we see, these cases being dropped, we're like, but the evidence, but this, but that.
Yes.
But that's totally different than the boundaries of the law. So even as an African American police officer, how does that make you feel when it's like, but y'all killing our people,
I'm outraged. But the outrage it should be across the nation. It's not just me as a former police officer. It should be across the nation, the things that we're seeing. And just think, those are the ones that we're seeing.
Exactly.
We probably see 1 out of every 100 that's happening out there. And that's just so happens someone has a recording device at the time that incident is happening. And we've all heard people say, hey, I was innocent, I didn't do it, the police are framing me. 30, 40 years ago, somebody said that, but you didn't believe them.
Right.
Now they can say the same thing, and it's possible that it might happen.
And you see it.
And you see it. But then you've got those other ones that we see on tape, but you're only seeing a small portion of what happened. You're not seeing it from the beginning to the end. You're only seeing a small portion. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not defending some of the actions of these coward police officers that we've heard about and seen, but I will tell you, we don't see the totality of the circumstances. So we can make these judgment calls, but until we have the facts and the evidence in front of us, there's nothing we can say or do about it. I don't comment on these incidents on my social media page because I don't know the facts of it. So it'd be stupid on my part to come up with a conclusion. But again, like I said, those judges, or that particular judge in Baltimore, he applied the law to the charges.
I have a question. One of my questions is this. Why is it, or is there, let me restate it, is there, and if so, why is it such a difference between the law as it applies to law enforcement compared to ordinary citizens?
Well, I'll tell you, police officers are held to a higher standard.
Oh, no.
And
actually, it seems to be the opposite.
I understand what you're saying, but in reality,